Bro, it's
Yo.
Mr. Young in the house, by the way. It's Mr. Young.
And it's foreign in the building, bro.
All I have to say is, on this day, I see clearly.
Is it?
Something. I don't know the rest of the lyrics. Okay. Obviously, we have to talk about the big thing that happened on the Wrestledream.
For sure.
Yeah, Mr. Corner, Mr. Whatever
The
you want to call
curve.
him. The curve.
The vortex. I had so many names lined up, bro.
shoot.
Prepared just in case AEW didn't come through with his
Absolutely.
name.
But it is definitely the big news out in the wrestling world right now, and we'll get to that a little bit later on in the show. But yes, we are here. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us on the live stream. I know we're starting a little bit late, but real life things do happen once in a while. We appreciate that.
For sure. Better late than never. Thanks guys for waiting. Thanks guys for waiting.
HS, what's up? HS says almost didn't recognize Mr. Young without the glasses. I know, right? I'm like, it's like Clark Kent and Superman, bro. You see, it works. The whole glasses thing, it works.
Yeah, bro. It works if it's you, bro. But for Superman, no, bro. No, it doesn't work at all, bro.
Still looks like the same fella, huh?
Yeah, indeed.
How are you, man? Let's catch up before we dive into the wrestling.
I'm good. I had like a shoot in the morning, so I was cutting it real close. I was about to just tell everyone, hey, you all just give up, lah. You all can't make it, lah. Let me just go home and do my podcast. I mean,
Wait,
but I had to be a professional,
Was it a shoot or a work?
Ooh,
wrestling puns, let's go.
There. I love it.
Okay.
I love it. But you know what's the best part about filming on set and being the producer on set?
What's that?
You don't actually am working. You're supervising, right, Mr. Young? You are managing the situation. So you know what that means, right? That means I can have my computer to the side and have Raw on the background, while doing work. So,
Hopefully nobody noticed that is what you were doing, instead of actually focusing. Jason, it's good to see you as well. All right, so we have lots to talk about. Honestly, I kind of thought like this episode was going to be like, hey, all right, we got, the two shows. We both last week completely forgot about NXT No Mercy, but thankfully I remembered and I got to watch it on the Sunday. So are you ready to jump right in, my friend?
Yeah, we definitely have to jump. Right? I think we have a lot to cover. And it's so funny because, we have our down weeks last week.
Yeah.
And we still have things to talk about, but it's like news related. But this week is all action reviews, man. So you all better buckle up, right? Let's go.
Not just the action in the ring, too. Like, if you see the way the pro wrestling landscape is shaping up. Like, okay, first things first, let's talk about Jade Cargill is all NXT or WWE, no longer All Elite. So that was a big signing for WWE, right? And right out the gate, she was treated like a big star. So I feel like WWE is sending a very loud and clear message right now, don't you think?
Yeah, for sure. And I do not know. I mean, I didn't live through. I wasn't old enough to experience all the WCW defections to WWE stars leaving to join WCW. I mean, that would have been a wild time. But I think for this current generation, this is the closest we have to competition, talent, poaching. Because remember, for a long, long time, at the start of AEW, we had a lot of WWE talents defecting to AEW. But now we are seeing a new trend where AEW stars are trying to find a new home in WWE. So it's really, really interesting for us fans.
Well, and you know what is very interesting as well? I think they are sending a very clear message with Cody, with Jade, that if you are a big deal, a big name within AEW, we will treat you like a star. And I think that is important. It's not like, bringing people over and then having them job left, right, and center, Like,
yeah.
Okay, think about someone like, for example, even Dragon Lee. Yes, you're not a huge star yet, but we see the potential in you. You're coming in and you're going to be on NXT. We're going to develop you here. You know who else has been having vignettes on NXT?
Yes, for sure. I mean, we saw the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yes.
We saw the WCW Saturday vignettes. We know who it is, bro. It's our guy from AEW, right?
Yes, Brian Pillman Jr. And, okay, so the way they've presented Jade, right? HS says Jade is more over than her entire AEW career based on her WWE presentation alone. Okay, I wouldn't go that far. To be fair, I wouldn't go that far because she hasn't even debuted yet. But yes,
a bit early.
They are making her a big deal. They're making her feel like a big deal. The impression from everybody else is like, ooh, who is this person, right? But also for the superstars, for the wrestlers themselves, now it becomes this very attractive option. Someone like an MJF, who's like, all right, this guy is main event status. They are sending the signal. If during the battle of 2024. What is it? He always says the contract battle of 2024. He always says.
The war of
The
I
war,
can't remember.
yeah. But you
I
know
can't
what I
remember,
mean?
yeah.
Like he's alluded it to it so many times. You know that is on his mind. Cody is over on the WWE side, and it's like, okay, this is a clear sign. If you are a big star, you come over, we'll treat you like a big star.
Yeah, it is very interesting. I feel like the reason why, previously when you were in WCW, you went to WWE,
Yeah.
and then you get a whole entire repackage. I think it's really because of Vince McMahon, right? Vince McMahon considers his company the number one thing. So he always assumes that nobody watches like WCW or is aware in his market or in his fan base. But I think it makes sense then when there was no internet, there was no huge streaming international rights. So you literally could be doing a heck of a lot of things in Japan, but unless you're tape trading, nobody would know, in the North American market. But times are changing. So it does make sense to not change up a character that has been established in like the wider internet, right?
I see what you're saying, but I will also say that WWE is smart enough that they will highlight who you are. If people don't know, like, just in case, you know what I mean? And we've talked about this millions of times, and we'll talk about it again when we get to Wrestledream, but this is the problem that AEW has. They assume. WWE doesn't assume. They will treat you like a star, yes, so that the fans who watch wrestling, we know, right?
Yeah.
But for the mainstream audience, which we know that is the most important target audience for them, people who don't necessarily watch wrestling, I have all the faith in them to do the packages, to introduce them in a big way. So, Jade Cargill's like unbeaten run, like however many, except for one to Statlander on Rampage, obviously it's not something that they can say, but they will still build her up like a star, and that is important.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I feel like what AEW I think can learn from WWE, and this is not really a knock on AEW. I think it's more of like constructive feedback, right?
Sure.
I feel like the thing that makes a star, right? It's the presentation and how the machine gets behind you in WWE or in AEW, right? So maybe they might have notoriety from Japan, right? Like Finn Balor did as Prince David in New Japan. But when he was in WWE reintroduced him to the wider audience, created a mystique around him, created a package, took things from New Japan that worked for him, like his face paint, right? And then introduce it on a bigger stage, right? So I think that's what AEW needs to do. They need to take elements from people that they're bringing to the company, things that worked in the past, accentuate it. Like, for example, Adam Cole and his music. I think that was a cool way of AEW putting a spin on his theme song to the point that I feel that I remember his AEW theme song more than WWE. So I think that's a good thing. So those are the things that they need to focus on.
Yeah, well, and then after that, be consistent and book them strong, which is, we can get to it, but we won't. We all know what the deal is. But yeah, so that is, like I said, I think they are really firing the shots. They're making it, we welcome you, especially the over talents. So it's going to be interesting. The next couple of years, we see MJF. Is he going to defect? Is he not going to defect? I think a lot of it has to do with how AEW promotes MJF now. And whether or not they really make him the main focus of the show. That's the thing. I don't know if they are, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, HSL, hold your horses. We'll talk about everything about Wrestledream in a bit. I think we should start off with in chronological order and talk about NXT No Mercy, right?
NXT No Mercy. Did you manage to watch any of it?
I did manage to watch probably the second half of it more.
Okay.
I think everything towards Trick Williams and Dom Mysterio onward. So I caught a bit of highlights from the first part as well. But yeah, I do have some interesting thoughts because for somebody like me, right, I haven't sat through an NXT pay-per-view in a long time. I mean, ever since they changed to like vomit colors,
Rainbow Vomit 2.0,
I really can't sit down and like enjoy it well. But let me tell you right off the bat, I think this was one of my most enjoyable NXT shows that I've had in a long time. Like I actually sat through and was super invested in things, even people that I wasn't aware of or didn't care for. So yeah, that's my early thoughts on the show.
Well, I mean, that's my thoughts as well when I've been, or when I like come back to watching NXT, right? Like, as you know, after the 2.0 vomit situation, I kind of stopped watching NXT for a little bit. But on and off, I was still like, catching up on it, seeing what's going on. And the current crop of NXT, bro, it's like, I wouldn't say we've gone back to Black and Gold, That's actually playing out in main WWE, if you think about it, which is great, by the way, as you see what's happening on Raw and whatnot. But yeah, we kick off the night with Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker. Oh my God. Like, Baron Corbin, you know, like on the main roster, he was this joker, stupid fella telling jokes. Like, you can tell the difference between Vince McMahon booked Baron Corbin and Triple H/HBK booked Baron Corbin, can't you?
Yeah, bro, tell me about that Undertaker tribute, bro. What was that all about?
I don't know about the Wish Undertaker. You bought Undertaker from Wish.com. I mean, you know, has it been long enough that he can repackage the gimmick? I don't know, but
I remember Chuck Palumbo trying to do this rider motorbiker, but it was too near to Undertaker, so yeah. I don't know, man.
I think the Baron Corbin's time as the Joker, Baron Corbin, like, really damaged his reputation, unfortunately. Yeah. This is sort of like going back to the lone wolf Baron Corbin, but with a bit of a twist. I'm feeling it, you know? His match with Braun Breaker was definitely, it's like two horses. This is a horse fight.
Yeah. How is his presentation? I mean, other than that, I mean, I'm not aware how he is on the mic right now. Is he like super serious?
He's just, it's kind of like his old lone wolf gimmick. Like, he's a badass. You know, he doesn't make stupid jokes. He's a bit... We've all sang his praises before. Like, we all know what a great worker he actually is, right?
Yeah, and I'm assuming he is the baby face in this situation because Braun Breaker has been a heel, right, recently?
They're both kind of heel. It's weird. Like, I wasn't a huge fan of this. I think it's that situation of, one's more heel than the other, but they're both still technically heel.
Okay. First of all, before we talk about this match, how it was, I need to say, right, when I saw Braun Breaker's entrance with that wolf thing on his head, right, bro, somebody on Twitter said that he looked like Furry. No, I mean Furry was one of it, but the one I saw was somebody said that he looked like Mentor, and I couldn't unsee it, bro, after he said that.
Oh, that is such a throwback.
Oh, dear God, yeah.
But yeah, so Braun Breaker is going through his I'm a work as a heel phase right now, and it's just like, I mean, you can see this guy main eventing WrestleMania some time down the line, can't you?
Yeah, he's blossoming indeed, and I think turning him heel was a great way to refresh his character, give him a bit of an edge, and of course, everybody remembers a couple of weeks back when he
wait, hold on. You mean give him a bit of an Adam?
Wait, see what you did there, Mr. Young?
The press con. Whoa. Remember when MJF said the E word and was it Tony Khan or was it Kenny Omega? Somebody in the background was like,
I think it was Tony Khan. Oh my God. Okay, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about all of that, right? But I would say like Braun Breaker, you know, after he tried to kill what's that face? What's that guy's face? I forgot the Great Khali, but
Great Khali? Von Wagner.
Von Wagner. I wanted to say Great Khali, but Angmo version.
Yeah, Angmo Khali.
Because his face like kena smack.
He smashed him in the steel steps.
Yes, correct. So I feel like I don't know whether that was like a detour or like this was a detour to that storyline and eventually Von Wagner will come back. Yeah. But do you think Braun is like ready now to go to the main roster and like finish up his run in NXT?
Maybe a little bit more. Like, obviously, like you mentioned, Braun Breaker, Von Wagner, they're gonna have their thing, right? So maybe after that, I think the main roster is quite stacked right now. So maybe he might get... I feel like he would get lost. I mean, he's not going to get like Karrion Kross lost. Now that one really, he came up and disappeared into the ether, right?
Poor guy, yeah.
But Braun versus Brock one day, Rishi, that's a great idea. I think, Brock would see
Brock
somebody...
would take a liking in him, for sure.
Yeah, Brock would be like, yeah, absolutely, I want to work with this guy, I want to put this guy over. But props to Baron Corbin for coming back to NXT to put over Braun, to share some of his experience. And this is what WWE has been doing very well, right? Like bringing the main roster guys and gals over, and as we'll see a bit later on in the main event, to give some shine to the NXT. And let's not forget, you know why? Another reason they're doing this, right? Because NXT and Raw are up for sale soon. They're shopping this shit around. So they need to pump up the numbers. So they're like, all right, let's bring all the main stars over to interact with them.
Honestly, this style works, right? You gotta put like you gotta give NXT a bit of that main roster rub, and I think having the random like main event wrestlers coming up to NXT, right, gives us this like what's gonna happen next week or who's gonna turn up in NXT. You never know. So makes it must-see TV in a way, lah. So good strategy for them.
So do you think they would have done this if Triple H was in charge during the Dynamite versus NXT era? Remember when they were going literally head to head? I feel like Triple H would have done this, but Vince was like, no, like for whatever reason, lah.
Maybe Vince underestimated AEW. You just use the developmental, I can take it over. But well, we shall see how NXT goes forward. But I feel like NXT is on the rise. It's on the rebound, I would say. So
NXT is definitely a really good like third brand, if you want to call it that now, right? And I mean, hey, sometimes their numbers do better than Dynamite. But hey, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about Trick Williams versus Dirty Dominic Mysterio. All right, let's go.
All right, whoop that trick. Whoop that trick. Yeah, whoop.
So obviously, this was a last-minute match, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because it was supposed to have been Ali, but unfortunately, the fella gonna release.
Yeah, poor thing. But okay, honestly, I do not know about Ali's run in NXT because I didn't really have a chance to catch it. But this Trick guy, bro, he is like on the up, bro. Like I just realized that this fella is much bigger than Carmelo Hayes.
Oh, he is.
So he might even have an upside to him, like if he can break out from his like partnership and actually become the main guy, right? What do you think?
Well, you know when that's going to happen, right? When he turns or Carmelo turns on him. You know that is in the card somewhere and we're just waiting for it because they've been best friends for way too long already. And then, when championships start getting involved, and then now that Carmelo Hayes lost his title. Now the question is, okay. So the question is, right, do you split them up? Because I know we're kind of jumping ahead here, but does Carmelo go up to the main roster now? Is he ready?
I feel like he needs to have that feud with Trick in NXT first. Like whoever turns on the other doesn't really matter. Yep. But I feel like as they say, Carmelo has always been the featured guy. Yeah. But maybe now suddenly Trick's getting this shine. Could this create some jealousy or conflict between them? And one thing I need to say about Trick, bro, I don't know whether you recognize this comparison, but I feel he reminds me a lot of Shed Gaspard. What do you think?
Oh, wow.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, Crime Time,
without the overtly racist gimmick, but yes, I see what you're saying. Yes.
Yeah, he got a size. I feel like, with the right push, he can really be highlighted as a main guy. And, we haven't had a lot of like badass black champions since Bobby Lashley. And I feel like he has the potential if they can like get him away from a bit of that street culture. That's the thing. I don't know whether it holds people back, to make them dress like that as part of like their gimmick. So I don't know. I don't know.
What? How was it weird or awkward or I don't know? Maybe it's a thing. But when he comes out and you have Booker T on commentary, during his intro.
Bro, Booker T is he tried to be an ad-lib lah. He tried to be that rapper hype man, got
right. So I mean, okay, like when you talk about like his presentation or his gimmick, right? Like Booker T succeeded even though he kind of had that sort of a gimmick. So, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
Like there's another comparison, right? Trick with a person like Booker T. They can talk on the mic. They're highly entertaining, very athletic.
Yeah. And you know what? We're talking about Trick all the time, right? But can we just give some credit to Dominic Mysterio, bro? Bro, Dirty Dom. Wow. First of all, I want to ask you, do you watch two things? Did you manage to watch his match with Dragon Lee from last week's Raw?
Yeah.
Amazing match. I mean, it really, to me, highlighted Dragon Lee, but also highlighted Dom as well.
It did. It was a bit of a flippy shit match, let's be honest.
But I would say flippy shit within the constraints of a WWE environment, right?
Without going overboard. See, that's the thing, right? They train their guys to not go overboard with the flippy shit.
Okay, cool. But I think that was my first like realization that actually Dom is actually a really good worker.
I mean, I wouldn't say really good, but he's definitely coming along.
Yeah. I mean, compared to what he was, I think I feel like he is confident in the ring where he can almost lead a match more, in that scenario.
However, in this match, because this wasn't the originally scheduled match, maybe that's why there was a bit of this, a bit of a disconnect. Yeah, like it wasn't, it wasn't like 5-star match or anything like that. But it was a passable match, Yeah,
I think what I like about this match was I feel Dom does feel like a main event star, being the cocky guy coming down to NXT, and
Yeah.
I think being almost overconfident, and that's his downfall, right, in this match.
Well, here's the thing, and this works perfectly with his character and everything. He didn't have the Judgment Day with him.
Yeah.
B, he can always blame the special guest referee, Dragon Lee.
Yeah.
Who, he beat and he's like, oh yeah, he screwed me, blah, 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 blah. So they've given him so many excuses which fits his character perfectly. He's a whiny heel, cheating heel. He can't win if he doesn't cheat. And if he does lose clean, it's the referee's fault. So the setup is perfect.
Yeah, and also one thing, I watched a bit of Raw just now as well. There was a Judgment Day segment, and kind of Damian Priest kind of like threw Dominic under the bus. He was like, who's here doesn't have the title? Huh? It's this guy, what? And then he goes say it to Rhea Ripley, and then Rhea Ripley turned around and he walked up to walked up to Dom and said like, I'm your mommy, right? And he was like, yeah. And then he was like, that means you gotta be my puppy. So you better go back and get that title, because if you don't win the rematch, don't come home.
Oh, I love it. Shit, I need to go and watch Raw now.
Yeah, watch that Judgment Day segment. I think it's hilarious. So I feel like they are pacing this conflict in Judgment Day really, really well, in my opinion. And the fact it spreads over the two shows makes it even more interesting.
So would you say that in the past couple of months and even year, right? First with the whole bloodline thing, and then now with, Mami and Judgment Day, do you feel like their storytelling is a lot more, quote unquote, long-term and tighter?
Yeah, I would say it's layered. It's layered. Like Bloodline, I think, was the gold standard, right? Like, everything and Bloodline for a while, for a long time, it was must-see television. But I feel they're taking a different approach with the Judgment Day, because they make Judgment Day really like a brotherhood, sisterhood, family, and how siblings fight, how there's miscom, and they present them as equal. So
It's a different story, but still, quote unquote, compelling enough, right? It's like watching two different shows almost. So I wonder if this is sort of the perfect marriage of writers and wrestling minds. You know what I mean? Because for the longest time, they had writers, but a lot of the stories were like, like there's not much continuity, blah, blah, blah. It feels like right now, in the past couple of months, maybe even a year, like, that continuity, that they found that sweet spot of writers and wrestling minds together. Does it feel that way to you?
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from, and I feel like the best thing about Judgment Day is, again, they're equals, right? They're presented as equals, and I feel like they can go out and do kind of like their own storylines. Finn can do his thing with whatever, and like Damien and Mami and Dom, but that gives them their individuality within the Judgment Day.
Bro, are we seeing WWE right now like Marvel at its prime? When they come together for the team-ups, but they also have their solo projects, not the current MCU. The current MCU is a little bit all over the place, right? But, before Infinity War, everything leading up to it, like, there's that continuity, that back and forth, like everybody is sort of like fully formed in their own world, but they can come together.
I would say that can happen if there is like a big mega crossover event somewhere that culminates in WrestleMania. You know what I mean? Like, because now everything is great, but everything's like kind of like spinning its wheels. And of course, WWE will start to refocus on the road to WrestleMania, but we need that huge event, bro. It's like, how to say, bro? Like, WWE, I know for better or for worse, right? The invasion angle was this huge event, right?
Yeah.
And then like in the year 2000, it was the Who Run Over Stone Cold storyline that was the overarching event. It was the thing that kept storylines going,
And recent years, it was the Bloodline storyline, right? So what is the next one? That's what you're saying, right? So Rock,
yes, correct.
Rock Roman, I guess.
The Bloodline Civil War. That would be interesting.
If a certain straight edge superstar, straight edge superstar decides, all right, it's time to come back home to the WWE, that could be the next big giant crossover. And, I mean, seeing what AEW did, maybe WWE is like, okay, maybe this whole CM Punk thing is a little bit more attractive now because we need to get them back.
Yeah. So for sure, and I feel like on all cylinders, I think even at NXT level, there are stories, there are people to be invested in and root for. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, speaking of NXT, let's get back to it. Wow, that was a hell of a sidetrack, by the way. The family versus the Creed brothers versus Garza and Carrillo and OTM. Out the mud.
Okay,
by the way, that's
who the hell is out the mud, bro? I have no idea.
They came out from the mud. They're dirty fellas. No, it's just like it's street slang, right? They're like rough and tough people from the streets. They came out the mud. There you go.
Okay. Who are the wrestlers in this?
Bronco Nima and Lucian Price. No idea who they are. They are managed.
Okay, no idea. Okay.
They are managed by Scripps, though. You know who Scripps is, right?
Oh yeah, the former Reggie, right?
Yeah. He went from Reggie to Scripps.
Bro. Okay. First of all, before that, right, there's one other team in NXT. I have no idea who the hell are they. Meta-4. Who is that?
It's some new group. I also haven't been paying attention to them. They are a bit like they're trying something different with them, right? They are like it's like Lash Legend and a bunch of new girls. Their names, by the way, I have to say, their names are getting more and more ridiculous. Like some of these names, I'm like, who names their kids this? But I get it. It's 2023, whatever, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
What the hell they mud repeat?
Mud out the mud. Okay,
bro.
So
okay. Yeah.
This one was a bit all over the place because it was a fatal 4-way tag team match, as these matches usually are, right? So you can't really fault them. I've always looked at the Creed brothers and went, that's the new Steiners. Like holy hell, they are so impressive. The family, I'm still not sold on, Tony D'Angelo.
D'Angelo, yeah.
And then there was, I don't know if you heard the storyline of Channing Lorenzo Stacks, his friend lah. Then he Tony went to jail and Channing had to rat on him, but he didn't rat on him. It was a whole story. I didn't really pay attention. It seemed a little bit too over the top, scripted wannabe Sopranos.
I think some writer there was a Sopranos fan. Probably.
Yeah.
That's the reason.
But then, I feel like there's a fine line though. You know what I mean? Like right now with the Judgment Day, with Bloodline, it's like, oh, that hits. But then with this family stuff, it's like, okay, you've crossed over into parody already.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Can I just say, right? This was probably the first match that I watched the Creed brothers wrestle really from bell to bell. And that thing that he does, was it Julius or what? Where he kind of jumps on the rope and then he just Kawabanga, jump into the pool like a bomb, bomb or something.
The
bomb?
Brutus bomb or something like
that. Bro, that why nobody thought of that? I think that's actually that's a dope wrestling move. He's gonna jump and like jumping into the pool like that. That was dope. That was dope. Yeah.
I mean, he's a giant guy, right? It looks awesome. The family needs Santino to run them. Oh God. Make them more into a joke, right? So yeah, the family retain their, or rather they win the match, so they are the tag team champions.
Okay, cool. I do not know them enough to care, but but hey, there was a cool suplex spot where all four, went into the ring. So yeah, that was the thing I remember for this match. So.
All I was thinking was, I hope they don't collapse the ring for this.
Oh dear God, yeah.
Yeah, right. Haley, how are you,
Hills, yo, Photomaker. Thanks, guys. You're not late. We were late. So please get around.
Let's talk about the next match. I'm not a fan of this British round stuff. I think it's way too complicated. Do you know much? Yeah.
No. I was just about to ask you. Can somebody explain to me what is this concept of the Heritage Cup?
So the Heritage Cup is just, instead of a belt, they have a cup because people from the UK, they love cups. So FA Cup, this cup, that cup, Champions League Cup. So it's instead of a title, it's something different. It's a cup. It's like the Dynamite Diamond Ring. It's just a different title, right?
Was this a remnant from NXT UK that they brought into this?
Yes. Okay. So they do this thing, British rounds rules, where they make it like every round is a set amount of time, and you try to score pinfalls, and then it's like football lah. So you got score on lah.
Oh, okay. So it's like a very complicated Iron Man match lah.
Yeah. My point though is it's not even Iron Man. It's like 15 minutes only, just a couple of rounds here and there. I don't know the exact rules. I'm not, and here's the thing. Like watching the thing, I didn't know what the rules were also. And it just got annoying after a while. Sometimes you just need to keep it simple. And here's the other thing. It's Noam Dar versus Butch. We all love Butch, but it's Noam Dar versus Butch. Why you make such a complicated match that you have to go and read up on for these two guys? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, okay. Noam Dar, I think, is underrated because I've seen some of his work when in 205 Live. It was fine. Sure. But I'm assuming he's part of Metaphor or something. Is
Yep.
it? Isn't
Yes.
he? Okay, so I have no idea. First of all, the name sounds like a wannabe superhero team, so doesn't make sense to me.
Bro,
I love Butch.
let me. I have the names in front of me now. Noam Da, Jakara Jackson, Lash Legend, Oro Mensa. Yeah, they sound like the X-Men. Just call them the X-Men for crying out loud.
Bro, Ororo, Storm, doesn't matter lah, bro.
I mean, good
Yeah.
lord, man. Okay, so Noam Da beats Butch. Butch obviously came down to put him over.
I got a question. Why did Butch come in alone against this group faction thing? Why wasn't Rich Holland backing him up? Or I mean, Sheamus, I know he's away lah, but yeah, why?
Because he wasn't part of the brackets. So to reach the finals, there was like brackets, like FA Cup lah, bro.
Alamak, bro. I too busy playing Mortal Kombat and FIFA yesterday lah for me. Oh, sorry, FC24.
FC, yes,
for me
FC.
to care so much about watching this whole match.
But see, that's the thing. This whole thing is so convoluted, way too convoluted for people to really pay attention to, unless you're a diehard. That's my problem. Like Noam Da versus Butch singles match, I'm all for because
it's fine.
You know what? But like there was a lot of like in between the rounds, is like right at the bell, Noam Da like drop a big spinning elbows. Like he's such a heel. I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it MMA like, but it's like too much.
Yeah, and you're right, Fias. Where the hell is Tyler Bate? Where's that guy?
Tyler Bate was in Butcher's corner. He was his corner man.
Okay.
With the spit bucket, the sweat towel, everything. So they tried to make it like boxing lah.
Yeah, I mean, and there was a period where Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne was actually fighting over the NXT UK title, and that was dope, right?
I wonder if this means they're going to feud. Butch is like, hey, you never helped me, and then they start feuding maybe, and then that's how Butch, puts Tyler over. I don't know.
My pitch, bro. If there's one way, right, you wanna give all these European wrestlers something to do, right, in NXT without NXT UK, why not, instead of this stupid Heritage Cup, bring back and rechristen it the NXT European Championship, bro? Bring it back. Bring the European Championship. Come on. And then like let all these like European wrestlers wrestle for it.
I mean, if you want to do a cup, that's fine as well. But don't have these funny British rounds, rules, matches. Just do normal matches. Just make it a tournament. People understand that.
Remember William Regal's Duchess of Queensberry match?
Duchess of Queensberry. Basically, it's a hardcore match, right?
And they got some girl to dress up as a Duchess at the ringside.
All right, let's move on.
Good times.
Let's move on to the match of the night. I mean, I think everybody can agree, right? Ilya Dragunov versus Carmelo Hayes. And Dragunov is like, he is going full, he's trying to go on full heel here, but not really. It's just his character, but sort of in a more evil way, right? Because Carmelo is a face.
Yeah, doesn't Dragunov remind you of like Vegeta, bro? Like Dragon Ball Z. Vegeta!
I don't watch anime, bro. I don't know.
Oh, okay. But anyway, like the point is, right, it's this guy who's forever just screaming. He's just like,
he's like, he's like forever blue balls. Cannot reach, so that's why he's got this face the whole time, right? And look, the thing is, like, he's not the biggest guy there, but I can buy him. Like, it took me a while. At first, like, he had those matches with Gunther and they were amazing, right? We know he's an awesome worker. He'll throw himself in there. But the more I see him, the more I believe that he's that crazy, for lack of a better term, a rabid Wolverine. Like, he's the guy that is probably training at 3 a.m. while everybody is sleeping. He looked like he's ripped. Like, you see his muscles where people have places. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I buy it.
Yeah, it's like his real life Wolverine come to life. Wolverine was considered short, right? In the comics, right? He's like 5'9". And like, I think one thing about him is his aura makes him like larger than life, right? When you put somebody like Chris Benoit or Kurt Angle against Undertaker, yes, they might not match up in terms of stature, but you believe that they could take him down, right?
Yes, exactly. That's exactly it. So that's why I am like salivating at the thought of one day finally he goes up and challenges Gunther, whatever. I mixed up. I don't know. What's his current name? Is it Gunther or Volta? I forgot.
It is Gunther, bro.
Gunther.
Yeah. Having that rematch on the main roster, that's what you're saying, right?
But yeah, now Ilya gets his time with the title. Carmelo, like you said, maybe he goes into a program against Trick. Maybe, he's going up to the main roster. We'll have to see.
I mean, I've always liked Carmelo, and remember I told you I was from the beginning. I was a fan of him. It was
Yeah.
between Carmelo and Braun Breaker. I felt Carmelo had more upside. And I love the entrance as well. But I feel like suddenly after this whole event, I'm starting to kind of get drawn towards Trick more than Carmelo.
Yeah.
And there was this one segment I think after the match, right? After he lost the title, where they were talking backstage or something like that, and Trick had the title.
Yep.
And he was still like kind of trying to cheer up Carmelo, and I felt like, I can see them having a feud, and it's gonna be dope.
So is this like Shawn Michaels' Diesel?
Yeah, it is. But instead, this Diesel is actually pretty dope.
Oh wait, what are you saying about Kevin Nash? Excuse me?
Hey, sorry, my quad there a bit.
Pia says, Dragunov looks like he lift weight at the gym at 3 a.m. and screams at himself in the mirror non-stop because he's angry. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like,
that's why I say Vegeta, guys. If you're an fan, you get it, right?
So, I mean, this is what we have to look forward to in the main roster, and I'm very excited for it. So, let's move on. Right?
Yep.
I mean, you can argue whether this match was better than their Great American Bash match. I think both matches were amazing. And highlights of the night. Ilya has had so many highlights of the night. I really like. I'm a Ilya fan, bro. I am. I can't wait to see him on the main roster.
I just hope he doesn't destroy his body before he gets on the main roster. That's the only thing.
yeah, that's it, right? Save your body for Gunther in the main roster. Okay, main event: Becky Lynch versus Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah, I saw this stat from like their previous match on NXT. Apparently, their NXT main event led viewers to hit over 1 million viewers for their segment.
It's the power of the man, bro.
Yeah, so like, when people sometimes, I've heard criticisms of Becky Lynch saying that she's cringy or like she tries too hard, blah, blah, blah. But there's no denying that she has star power, and I think the numbers show in the NXT match. So, but I do like her role in NXT now. I think she deserves to get a title because in her original run, she was never the main girl, right?
Yes. And like, I mean, this is a cycle that we've seen very recently from the WWE, right? You get the main roster, especially the big stars. I mean, Charlotte had her turn. She came down, quote unquote, and put Rhea Ripley over, worked with her anyway, right? And then now you see Becky Lynch doing it. I'm sure you'll see some of the other female stars come back to NXT just to bring up the next generation. That being said, though, I mean, this was Extreme Rules. I think it was done to sort of cover up the greenness of Tiffany. I think Tiffany has a lot of upside. Don't get me wrong. She's very athletic. Like when I see her work, you know what? Who she reminded me of actually?
Who?
Lacey Evans.
Okay. Lacey Evans.
But I mean, obviously different gimmick. But in terms of the look, the size, the athleticism, right? Not quite Charlotte Flair, right? But Lacey Evans. But then I'm like,
interesting.
Lacey Evans fell into a dark hole and disappeared. Don't know where.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, I think Tiffany hasn't had the gimmick botches that Lacey has had, right? She has a pretty straightforward gimmick like the buff Barbie. She has an amazing moonsault. I mean, I gotta give credit because I love seeing when moonsaults are done really, really well.
Yeah.
And hers, I would say hers, Io Shirai, like those are like to me the top tier of a moonsault. The hang time, right? And I also felt like she has the size to be a main event female wrestler, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no. When she walks into a room, and this is something that the statement Andrew Tang said to us, like when you walk into a room, can you get people to look at you, or are you just like some look at me like some schlub skinny fella, like no, that guy looks like he can't hurt anybody, right? Whereas when Tiffany walks in the room, like she can put me in a figure four.
She can whoop that trick. Whoop that trick.
Yeah. I'm gonna do the Booker T. Yeah. That being said, okay, would you consider Becky Lynch a great in-ring technical worker?
No.
Yeah.
No. She was never. I thought she was always more of a brawler. That was her style.
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
but no.
Because this match was kind of like, there were a lot of moments of hesitation. The timing was a bit off. And, I mean, Becky's quite famous or infamous for calling it a little bit too loud, a little bit too obviously, right? Like, almost like
she
John
got a
Cena.
John Cena affliction, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, in a way, John Cena is not known to be a great technical worker as well, So...
Sleeper hole! Sleeper hole!
Drop kick! Move out of the way!
Kick.
Yeah, like, you know.
Okay. One thing I can say about Becky Lynch is, right, she will be the first person to tell you. I think if you watch a documentary, she always said she wasn't the most athletic person.
Mm-hmm.
She never got it right the first time. She had to work really, really hard to be even half decent in the ring. And I think her style and her personality doesn't need her to be a technical wrestler.
Yep.
She can do the Stone Cold thing, even though Stone Cold, yes, proven that he can be the ringmaster, but what made him the biggest star in the world was his brawling, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, his character first, then, you know, the brawling style fit that. So, yeah, I mean, but, you know, I wasn't trying to say that, you know, this match was like whatever, right? But yeah, technically, this wasn't a great match. Doesn't help that it comes right after Ilya Dragunov versus Carmelo Hayes as well, you know?
Yeah.
Like, the standard already set so high. That being said, I think they put on a pretty good show, especially for an Extreme Rules match. And, you know, the right person won. Becky is there not to go and drop the title to Tiffany again. I don't think that would have worked.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. So Becky defended the title against Tegan Nox on Raw, did she? Or was that next week?
No, it wasn't this Raw. It wasn't this Raw. But yes,
because,
like Tegan was in ringside, right? After that.
Yeah. So that was the whole point, right? That was the story that Tegan Nox gets the winner of this match at some point.
It seems like I think Becky's gonna be in NXT for quite a while. I think maybe for the rest of the year. And do you like her spot here in NXT? Do you think she needs this break?
Yeah, I think so. And I think, you know, she's also the type of person who will bring the other talents up, you know, like sort of give them the rub. I wonder if this is how Becky loses the title. Loses it to Tegan Nox thanks to Tiffany Stratton or something like that. I don't know.
I mean, I do not know whether Tiffany would regain back the title. I feel you're right. She is good and she has potential, but she's not ready for the main roster, in my opinion.
No,
give her a longer run in NXT. Make her the man in NXT in a way, right?
Sure.
So to speak, right? Yeah.
I get what you're saying. Make her the Ken. No. Let's move on then. So, all in all, NXT No Mercy, I kind of went into it with not that much expectation and it exceeded. So, I give it a solid 7.5, 8.
Yeah,
actually,
I thought it was a great way to spend my Sunday. I think for those of you who watched it, definitely I didn't hear any bad things about the show. And I think it's very promising that, you know, after everything that NXT 2.0 went through, it's good that they're kind of getting back to what we love about NXT, you know, great matches, building new stars, highlighting new stars.
It's kind of crazy to me that NXT is their developmental. So in a lot of ways, what is their developmental anymore? Because NXT is a full-fledged product right now. So their developmental is what? Level up lah.
Bro, level up. Okay, I would say I think their performance center, they still have live shows, live NXT shows. We've seen Dante Chen, trying out his new gimmick with Boa on the NXT live show loop. So maybe it's good that they are setting a higher bar. Those who want to be able to have a match on NXT, their TV show needs to be able to, perform.
Step up. Okay. Talking about developmental, let's move on.
Come on, Mr. Young.
Oh, no, I'm kidding. It's totally different, right? One's development, the other one's a $1 billion indie show. So let's talk about the $1 billion indie show, shall we?
Oh, dear God. Okay, I don't know what you're talking about, but if you're talking about Wrestledream, yes, we shall. Let's set the tone, right? Right? I haven't been watching a lot of Dynamite and Collision ever since CM Punk left. Not a spoiler. I'm not trying to, tell you guys that, don't watch AEW or what. But for me, because I'm a CM Punk fan. So after everything that went down, I just had a sour taste in my mouth. I'm like, fuck lah. Okay, never mind.
But wait, hang on. Is it really a CM Punk thing, or is it because it just hasn't been good television?
Well, it can be a bit of both. But I think because it's hard for me to sit here and tell you the truth. It's objectively bad because my bias for CM Punk is so strong that I'm because CM Punk is not here, everything sucks. You know what I mean? So I'll be the last person to say objectively the show is bad, but I just haven't been able to watch it because of the whole CM Punk thing.
Right. Here's the thing, right? So for the longest time, it was CM Punk, it was the MJFs that were the draws, right? And then, of course, the CM Punk thing happened, so there's one less draw to watch. And then now you have MJF, arguably the most talented person in the entire roster right now, even with all the legends there, right? And he is in a sort of goofy bromance joke storyline, which like I don't know how long he needs a serious feud ASAP. And this whole thing with Samoa Joe, it was just like a one-off, it feels.
Unfortunately, I was actually disappointed with that because like they had an awesome match. Okay, like, I'm not gonna lie, that match from Grand Slam, like okay, I love that Samoa Joe is at that level again.
Yeah.
Why is it not a series of matches?
So yeah, no, that's exactly it, right? And then I mean, we go to bad booking. You know, like it's one thing to put matches on a piece of paper. Dream matches, this is what they've essentially done for Wrestledream. All goes down to long-term storytelling. And is AEW doing a good job of it? I don't think so. And that, to me, is a bigger reason than CM Punk leaving as to, like, you know, if CM Punk leaves, that's fine, whatever. But, like, is there other stuff that will keep me? And I say no when it comes to AEW. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas, WWE, you got your ups and downs. But by and large, you have several storylines that are worth staying for.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the thing about AEW is, right, and this is a trend, right?
Yeah.
Like, as much as sometimes we talk about like, you know, the weekly shows are not doing it for us, somehow I would say they do step up for their pay-per-views. And like if I watch the pay-per-view in a vacuum, like I could enjoy certain things about the pay-per-view that okay, but I just wish there was great stories going into the pay-per-view. That's my main point.
So once again, the difference between a booker and a matchmaker, right? A matchmaker puts dream matches on a piece of paper. By all intents and purposes, if you had told the story of Daniel Bryan and Zack Sabre Jr., this could have been the main event, right? And we know these two can work their asses off. And we've talked about this ad nauseum, but, you know, once again, they only cater to a certain group of wrestling fans, which are in the know. And that's why they will never breach that, you know, the mark that the WWE has. And maybe you want to argue that is not their goal. That's fine, you know, but... If you're wondering, why is their, you know, viewership sort of like fluctuating and, you know, declining, there's your reason.
I can give you a very good example of when a match, right, it's fueled by the storyline to the point that when the match happens, everyone's salivating at the top of the match itself. Yeah. Compared to a match where, two people was great on paper, but I just can't be bothered, right? Like, I can give you a recent example, maybe from something from, you know, like Finn Balor and Seth Rollins, for example, right? Finn Balor and Seth Rollins, 7 years of history, talking about SummerSlam, right? Yep. You know, the injury happened, you know, how they hate each other, and then, you know, they build up Seth Rollins to be this, like, fighting champion now. They build up Finn Balor to be like, the leader of the Judgment Day, and then when they clash together, to me, the match didn't deliver, but everything that brought me to that match made me hype for the match. Does that make sense?
Sure.
And then as opposed to Finn Balor and Seth Rollins just wrestling on the random Raw, it would have been the exact same match, but I didn't care for that Raw match. I cared for the SummerSlam match, right?
Yeah. It's all about the build lah.
It's about the build. It's about the story being told. If you know, Daniel Bryan had that triple threat match with Batista and Randy Orton, like on any other pay-per-view with completely no build, it would just be an episode of Raw.
Correct.
Yeah, but because it came on the crest of a yes movement, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, and that's the point at the end of the day, right? And, you know, at the end of the day, it's all a long-term game as well, you know? And I always bring this up, but like, how long is Daddy going to fund this thing? You know? And you talk about the long-term viability of a company like this, we'll see. And what is this rumor about? I hear that they were interested and they were looking at one championship. Or is that a joke?
I don't think there's any legs to that, bro.
Can you imagine? They're like, okay, so TKO is a thing, right? Let's buy one championship. Let's make it a thing. I don't know. I just randomly read it somewhere. I was like, huh, really? Okay, whatever.
No. I think to be clear, I don't know. There's no legs to that rumor, and the rumor that somebody started that TK is gonna buy New Japan also is not true.
Oh God,
it's not true. I think he more or less confirmed it on the press scrum. Yep. He was just trying to create hype for, you know, somebody's return or somebody's debut. So so I'm just wanted to give context about my thoughts going into Wrestledream because I felt like I mean, of course, I have so much respect for Antonio Inoki. Yep. I'm a big fan of dream matches. Who's not a fan of dream matches? But I just felt like the build came out of nowhere, and I just felt like it was inserted in such a way that coming off of All Out, which was like a huge anti-climax because of what happened to CM Punk. Grand Slam was okay, but I felt Grand Slam was reliant on that Samoa Joe and, you know, MJF match. Not enough other matches to support that, right? So I was feeling very lukewarm towards AEW coming into Wrestledream.
Right. Via says the one championship thing is because there's an upcoming gaming match between Mighty Mouse and Omega. No wonder lah. So people,
I saw. It was on.
They let the imagination go wild and stuff like that. Okay, Ken. Let's jump into the card itself then. Here's the thing, right? You got MJF versus the Righteous. Once again, who the hell are these guys? For the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championship, 2-on-1 handicap match. I mean, you have MJF. Obviously, Adam Cole is injured, right? You have MJF here basically proving, and he even said so in the press scrum, the post-match scrum, post-event scrum, right? That he's there to build stories and not do flippy shit, which is great. You know, this is how good he is. He's getting people to pop on the body slam. Yes.
I wanted to praise MJF because essentially, right, bro, this was actually a comedy match.
Yeah,
it was a comedy match, and MJF built it like a comedy match.
Yeah,
and they built the hype for. You remember, double clothesline was a pop that was heard around the world.
Yeah,
and now he's getting people to pop on the body slam, as you said. Brilliant work from MJF.
And that's why he's the champion. He should be treated as a champion, and that's why he should be doing stuff in the main event and not in the opening match. I mean,
yes. Okay, if I'm asking you as well, Gaddafi, like upfront, right? As an AEW fan, would you have preferred to see MJF in this spot starting this show against the Righteous Brothers, or would you have wanted to see a rematch with Samoa Joe, making it one of the main events for the show?
Well, that being said, there was only one main event that you could have had if they wanted that big pop at the end. You know what I mean? That was the whole point. The reason that Christian Cage, Darby Allin was the main event and not any other match, not the quote-unquote dream match, Daniel Bryan versus Zack Sabre Jr. I know, there's the TNT Championship, but let's face it, whatever lah, that belt.
Yeah, no. I get the placement of the match. What I'm saying is, like, if I was somebody was booking this show, and I had my world champion, MJF, and even though, yes, he's carrying a ROH championship, yes, he's having this side rivalry with the Righteous, shouldn't he be booked in a prominent position? He could start the show, but it should be a main event level rematch with Samoa Joe starting the show hot, as opposed to, like, if I could choose where to insert my main event world champion, that should have been the spot.
Sure.
Not this match. That's what I'm saying.
No, I get the point, right? And the big question is, like, most people who are sort of just casuals, they have no idea who the Righteous are. So this match ultimately became a Hogan versus two random jobbers match. Yeah,
nothing against the Righteous, right? But if you wanna have storylines that make sense, if you want to have a ROH match, why not put the Kingdom there? Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, and then can have Adam, can have Roderick Strong be part of that match, and then at least it creates continuity, right?
Bro, nothing against Zack Sabre Jr. You know what I think of him and what I've said about him before, having seen some of his matches. But for most of the North American audience or people who don't watch New Japan, he's showed up on AEW like, twice? And Bryan Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr. is a dream match? Come on, man. You know what I mean? We go back to the whole, there is no build here. There is no reason. So they can do the most amazing things in the ring, but ultimately, MJF getting more pop from a body slam. Just think about that. Just think about it. So right now, so like, more power to Brian, more power to Zack. They're just doing their art. But art for art's sake doesn't sell tickets. And at some point, Tony needs to understand that.
And it's such a shame because I actually posted like a post pay-per-view. I think they did a backstage interview with Zack Sabre Jr. And I put it on our Instagram. Bro, he cut a hell of a promo and sold the shit out of that match, calling Brian a scoundrel, blah, blah. I will talk about the match in a bit. But the point is, right, why wasn't that on TV? Why couldn't Zack Sabre Jr. go up on a Dynamite and like sell that story? So a missed opportunity, in my opinion.
That's the story of AEW. Let's move on. Eddie Kingston versus Shibata for the RH World Championship and Strong Openweight Championship. Let me guess what happened. I didn't watch this match. Let me guess what happened. A lot of chops, a lot of stiff shots, a lot of kicking out of finishers. Did I describe the match?
I watched the match.
Yeah?
You described probably like 70% of the match, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm sure.
Yeah, okay. But I'm going to come on this from a different point of view, right?
You're going to come on what now?
I'm not going to come on them. I'm going to come on this.
You're going to do what? Okay.
I'm gonna approach this, Mr. Young,
There you
from
go.
a different point of view because you know, like I think both of them made it clear, especially at the start of the show, Shibata paying respects to Antonio Inoki with his his grandsons. And you see the post scrum with Christian Cage. Christian Cage was like, I saw that you were watching the Inoki presentation. That's like, yeah. I saw his grandsons. Just lost their grandfather. I see.
Oh boy.
Do you see that?
No, I didn't see
Funny.
that, but it sounds hilarious.
Fucking hilarious, bro. I think he's just preying on young boys who lost their father.
Yeah, he's like the wannabe father figure.
Yeah, okay. Okay, but anyway, the point is, okay. So Grand Slam, I think Eddie Kingston had I think it was really a objectively great match with Claudio Castagnoli. He won the ROH World Champion, and I think, giving a world title, singles title to Eddie Kingston at this point of his career, I think is well deserved.
Sure.
Even now, despite all the flaws of AEW, he's always been like the real guy there. Like, you can always look at his promos and you can like appreciate him for what he is. Shibata, of course, I'm sure even if you're not familiar with him, but I know his story, right? About how he almost got paralyzed in the neck. He returned from like a career-threatening injury and he can wrestle at this level again. So all the respect to him, right?
Yeah. Hang on.
Yes.
Let me jump in right in there. Like, isn't this... Can you imagine if he were in the WWE? I know. Yes. Oh, Mr. Young is, linking it, talking about comparing to the WWE again. But imagine if you had that story in a company that knew how to tell that story. Imagine how much bigger this match would be.
Yeah, I don't deny. It would have elevated the story for what it is, right? But the fundamentals of this story is already there, right? Two disciples of Antonio Inoki, but in different ways, right? Somebody who patterned his entire career. He does all this like palm strikes thing that Antonio Inoki does. Shibata is literally this generation's Inoki in terms of how he portrays his style. And then you got let's be honest, Eddie Kingston is a New Japan mark, right? A Japanese mark, right? About he idolizes all these like wrestlers, Misawa and all that, and then we are like, well, for a guy from New York who have no reason to watch Japanese stuff, he's really into Japanese stuff.
Sure.
So, all respect for him. That being said, right? This was the kind of match that I know Mr. Young would be turned off by.
Yeah, the trading of elbows, like forearms, and 1,000 slaps, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but if there was anyone in the world to do it and do it the right way, I still think both of them have the real tough man persona. I mean, I think they're legitimately tough people.
Sure.
And they're doing it in a way that I feel like can still pay tribute to Inoki in that style of wrestling without being too corny or over the... You get what I mean?
Well, okay, you see, now I have to go back and watch this. Because, there is a fine line. Right? Like,
yes.
When you talk about Misawa, I've watched a handful of Misawa matches and all of them look like assaults. For crying, you know what I mean? Like,
bro, 90s wrestling in Japan is like next level, bro. They're really killing each other.
They don't give a F. So I'm not saying that they should go back to that, right? But at the same time, though, like, there is a fine line between that versus like, okay, this just looks like you're massaging his chest. You know what I mean? That very fine line. And I feel like excellence of execution. Bret Hart had it perfect. His punches, everything made it look so real without actually hurting anybody. And so few people have that in 2023.
Yeah. Okay, maybe it's just the Japanese approach to wrestling.
Sure.
I think they are the type of people who, I'm not going to make it look like it hurts. I'm just going to make it hurt.
Yeah. They're like, oh, yes, yeah.
But it's like a sense of pride for them.
Sure.
Like, I gotta hurt myself and essentially this is what they did to each other, right?
Fighting spirit, yeah.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if there was any two people in the world that can at least come across as I'm going to take it seriously and not like make a mockery like Ishii at his age tries to do it, no, right?
Hey, but didn't Ishii have a match in a subway? I read somewhere. Like there was a wrestling match that happened in a subway. It was like a whole thing, right? And I saw one of the wrestlers like, isn't that Ishii?
Oh man, I have no idea. The only subway match I remember was Undertaker and Triple H back in the New Generation era. Remember this?
Yeah. Let me Google it real quick. Like, Japanese wrestlers fight on a 180 mile per hour bullet train.
Oh the heck!
Yeah, so it was like hang on. I'm trying to look at it. Yeah, this looks like Ishii. The hairstyle is very obvious. Giving a pile driver to somebody on the bullet train.
Oh dear God. Okay. You share that link on our Discord. Chip plug for Discord.
Oh wait,
I
no,
think we
Suzuki.
should
Sorry,
watch
it was Suzuki.
Oh,
Yeah.
so Minoru Suzuki, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But I mean, okay, so I'm saying like I think for this match as a tribute match to Inoki, if they need to do a tribute match for Inoki, I thought this was a worthwhile match. And Mr. Young, please check it out and let me know if it really draws the line enough for you or if it crosses the line, right?
Okay, let's move on. Chris Statlander, Julia Hart. Did you watch this? I did not.
I watched this back. Okay, let me ask you this. Did you watch the vignette that AEW did for Julia Hart in the build up to the show?
No.
Okay, I'll send you the link or you can watch it on your own time. Actually, right, bro, they are doing Julia Hart really, really right.
Okay.
Like
okay.
they are making her a menace. Like she came across really, really well in that promo. It wasn't weird mystical shit that Malachi Black talks about, like speaking in circles. Julia Hart has the ability to be very sharp and like straight to the point in her promo and still come across as menacing and kind of like that horror girl. It's appealing in such in a way. Yeah, some people have their kinks. I do not know, but
the point gothic fetish, is it?
I had no idea, bro. Yeah. But anyway, the point is, yes, it was a really well done promo, and it made me believe somebody of her size could realistically measure up to Chris Statlander. Like how Alexa Bliss, did it. Yeah. So yeah, that's my thoughts on how the match, like going into the match. But in the match itself, bro, Julia Hart got a pretty dope moonsault as well, I must say.
Okay.
She has definitely improved a lot in the ring.
Makes sense. Chris Statlander retains. Where is their who is? Oh, it's Paige, isn't it? Who is their actual women's title holder?
The actual women's champion was Saraya, and Saraya I think defended with Toni Storm. That's the only thing I was a bit sad about. We didn't get enough Toni Storm in this pay-per-view. My favorite girl in AEW right now. Amazing. She is super hilarious.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the 4-way tag team match for a future AEW World Tag Team Championship. Okay. We got the Bucks, Lucha Bros, the Guns, Orange Cassidy, and Hook.
Okay, I got one quick question. They push Ray as international champion, right now?
Yeah,
he is the international champion.
Well, I mean, so he's not supposed to have won it, right?
Yeah, but the point is, right, you give him that run and suddenly you put him back in the tag team title picture.
The Bucks gotta play with their friends,
I don't know. This was the kind of definition of a match that I would skip if it was on Dynamite. So.
Oh yeah. What do you want? Is the 4-way? Is their very standard 4-way tag team match where they just throw everything at the wall, and just it's just a lot of things going on at the same time, right? But what does happen is that with the Young Bucks winning, that means they challenge FTR next.
So we have this is part 4, series 4 of their match, because they had a trilogy already technically.
Yeah, right. So the question is, are you still excited for that?
You know who I wanted to win going into this match?
The Guns?
Of course, bro.
Which is what everybody is saying, by the way, in chat. The Guns should have won.
Yeah, first of all, the Guns has elevated their presentation to the next level, bro. Like everybody loves their intro. Yeah. And they are as athletic as their father, right? Yeah. Like physique-wise, they look amazing. I think they're wasted in AEW, bro.
Well, I mean, it is what it is, right?
Yeah, I mean, man, can you imagine them fighting against like Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens? Yeah, getting that rub, working with this kind of brilliant like Judgment Day.
I wonder if they're just biding their time because obviously Billy has connections with the WWE, right? And they're like, hey, look at these two, they're coming along. So while they're still under AEW, at least they get their reps in, they get their experience in.
Yeah, I mean they are studs, right? And I feel like I like the fact that both Colton and Austin have different tributes to Billy Gunn, like in the way they dress. Yeah, right. They got different attire from different eras of Billy Gunn. So I think it's a pretty dope. If you're a Mortal Kombat fan, which I know you are, like seeing the next generation paying tribute to their parents, I think it's pretty dope.
Let's move on then. This is one of my favorite matches of the entire card. Not because of Hangman, but Swerve. Okay, well, Swerve was the hometown guy in this one, right?
Yeah, for sure. Seattle.
Seattle, right? Yeah. So and they were like booing Hangman. Hangman to me right now is as stale as he's ever been. Like seriously, remember there was a time where he was like, and we right here on the show were like, all right, we want him to win. This is him and Kenny Omega.
Yes,
Right
number
now,
one guy. Yeah.
Now after the whole CM Punk thing, after everything that has gone on, he just has left a sour taste, I think, in a lot of fans' mouths because of his attitude and the way he, was presented. So Swerve, on the other hand, is just a breath of fresh air, right? And he can go in the ring, lah.
That being said, right, like this was like legitimately one of the grudge matches in AEW and in this pay-per-view, and it wasn't for a title, which to me was refreshing. Just a straight up one-on-one match, and I like that. And bro, Prince Nana, bro. I cannot. So like when he Prince Nana and him together, right? It's so funny because Swerve is like the serious, menacing guy, and then Prince Nana is in the corner shaking his ass off. So like, I like them together as a duo. And yes, this was a coming out party for Swerve for sure. I think everybody stood up and recognized Swerve's talents in this match, in my opinion.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to add to this?
Where should Swerve go next? Because she literally beat. A main eventer per se in AEW standards. He beat Hangman Page. Where can he go next to solidify his run?
International title, bro.
You know what? I don't disagree.
Yeah, I don't know what Ray Phoenix is going to do with it. Like, that wasn't the original plan. Apparently, Jon Moxley has enough pull to, just decide, I don't want the championship. That's a whole other conversation altogether. Yeah, he was injured, was he not? But if I know we're going back a little bit, but if you read all, like, everything that has come out from that whole situation, right? Apparently, he claims that he was concussed or he got knocked loopy right at the start, at the dive, which means he had a good 10 minutes of beating the other guy up to be like, okay, I'm actually all right. But then at the end, he was not all right. So it was like what are you doing here? But that's a totally different story altogether.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? I feel weird to say this. I feel really sorry for Orange Cassidy, right? Like last month, yes, for all intents and purposes, he was the longest reigning champion in AEW. Yeah. He was main eventing All Out. And then in this show, this guy is like lost in the middle, of the shuffle.
But here's the thing. This is TK's booking at its most obvious. He's just, okay, I'll just let his favorite wrestler, go on a huge tear. And then, like you said, have the international title mean nothing within 1 week.
What's the follow-up, right? Like, you already push Orange Cassidy to be the most winningest, person in your company.
But even as the most, it doesn't matter if you win against a bunch of jobbers or a bunch of in rubbish matches.
Yeah. I would dare say, if they consider TNT title like the secondary championship after the world title and the international title lower, let him challenge for the TNT. Let him fight with Christian. At least give him something to capitalize on that momentum. Bro.
You are talking sense. Why are you assuming that they know what they're doing in terms of booking? I've said this so many times already, right? It is the Wild West over there in AEW, for better or for worse. So those who know what they're doing are doing good. Those who don't know what they're doing are just having fun. On like billion-dollar indie show, bro. We
are just simple wrestling fans, and contrary to what people think, I care about AEW in the sense that I want them to succeed. Yeah. So this is the kind of easy layups that you can do,
Yeah, that they are missing, right? Okay, let's move on. Ricky Starks versus Wheeler Yuta. I feel the worst for Ricky Starks. Like, seriously, my guy. They are cold as F as well. These two and Wheeler Yuta, they tried. And it was like, whatever.
Bro, Ricky Stark poor thing, okay? He was on the verge to have a one-on-one program with CM Punk.
Yeah.
He was on the verge to be the main heel on Collision, right? And then, whatever happened. Bryan Danielson came into the picture. I thought, okay, fine. Bryan Danielson is going to be the one doing the job, creating this star in Ricky Stark.
What happened, bro? Bryan Danielson is on his retirement tour. He got no time to go and put you over anymore.
No, exactly, right? So what he did, after 2 matches, he won both times. First match was what? A strap match.
Yep.
Second match was a Texas death match. And then you will basically kill off Ricky Starks in that rivalry, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right?
Ricky Starks now back to the ground level, back to ground zero.
Yeah. And then the second thing is, right, maybe I don't watch enough of the shows recently, but why suddenly he got a feud with Wheeler Yuta? How did that start?
Bryan Danielson, BCC?
Well,
Talking about the BCCs, by the way, I just noticed that the pre-show, right, had Claudio versus Josh Barnett. What?
your Ultimate Fighter Josh Barnett?
Yeah. What is going on?
Where did that come from? Out of nowhere, also.
I mean, I know Josh Barnett has been wrestling in Japan for a very long time, so maybe it's part of the whole tribute to Inoki thing.
Okay, maybe,
Right.
maybe.
But I was like, yeah, I saw that. I was like, huh, okay.
But Josh Barnett is like legit. Right? I mean, was it a beggar match? I didn't have a chance to check the pre-show.
Claudio won, so there you go.
Okay,
It's a tribute thing, so we'll just attribute it to that. Bryan Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr. I mean,
let's talk about it.
Two technical wizards doing their thing should have been way more than and we already kind of touched on it, like
I love. Okay, the thing is, right, Zack Sabre Jr. looks like a star now, in my opinion, because for a long time he was too skinny. For a long time he was really undersized, even though yes, people try to present him like a very serious best technical wrestler in the world, but because he was so skinny, I couldn't take him super seriously.
Yeah.
But he's added size in the recent years, and now I felt like, okay, with his platinum blonde hair and his look and that New Japan TV title, which is a pretty dope design in my opinion, he felt like a star. But I wish I know about his stardom. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no. That's exactly what we've been talking about, right? You can be a star in all these other countries if you're not being portrayed as a star where you're wrestling right now for the sort of like the casual audience. Nobody knows who you are. So you can have a great match here. You can have a 5-star, 10-star match. It's like, oh, okay lah. But once again, Bryan Danielson is at that point in life where he's like, I just want to have great matches, art for art's sake, because he's earned that. He's already been there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's having art for art's sake, as opposed to, trying to change the company, draw money for the company. That's not his goal. For better or for worse, that's not his goal. He's just having great matches. And that's fine for the hardcore fans, for us wrestling fans who enjoy this kind of stuff. But is it going to even make a drop of noise in the entertainment world, in like just average person on the street? Nobody knows of this. Nobody cares.
Yeah. And I can see a similar run between this Bryan and Shawn Michaels in the 2000s, but with a very big difference. I felt like when Shawn Michaels was on his retirement tour, right? He wasn't busy having dream matches for the sake of it, right?
Yeah.
The only time he probably had a dream match for the sake of it was Kurt Angle, 2005 WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just I announce I'm gonna fight him and after they don't do anything and then it's WrestleMania. Yeah. No, they had the storylines, they had a sexy Kurt, they had them infiltrating each other on their shows and trying to beat each other. The point is, right, it's not enough to just have a dream match being announced.
It's enough for the hardcore fans, those who live, die wrestling, watch every damn wrestling show.
Okay,
it's not enough for everybody else.
Okay, let's strip that all away. Let's talk about the match itself. Like, sitting down and watching the match itself.
They are not like, going for 10,000 finishers. See, this is like the opposite of the, that style of like, I hit you with every finisher known to man, you kick out of everything, No, this is a technical wizardry match where they target body parts and blah, 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 you know? And this is the type of match I can appreciate.
I felt like this was Malenko Jericho or like RVD and Jerry Lynn. This was like a ECW technical match, right? Like when you had the cruiserweights, but there are some high flying cruiserweights, but then there are super technical cruiserweights. Yeah. This was a Malenko wet dream. I wouldn't be surprised if Dean Malenko was the agent for this match, bro.
Sure.
Yeah.
I just wish it meant more. That's all.
I get it. I haven't seen Zack Sabre Jr. wrestle properly. I mean, maybe since like a Wrestle Kingdom match from years ago where we were watching Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah.
But do you feel like Zack is ready to take over the mantle from Danielson as like the number one technical guy?
But in whose eyes? To the hardcore fans, sure, but that's not gonna mean anything.
So you're saying that.
Like, are you saying that can he come over to AEW, become an AEW star, be featured week in, week out, do vignettes, do things where he's portrayed as such? Versus, like, he can...
Yes.
Okay, yeah, sure, I will agree with that. But only if that is A, what he wants to do, and B, what Tony Khan or whoever's booking them is going to put the effort in. Put the quote-unquote machine behind him to highlight that. Because, it's just like Bryan Danielson, what? Like, he's not a bad promo, but he's not going to be the most entertaining promo. His best attribute is what he does in the ring, right? And so you need to be able to highlight that.
Yeah, I mean, bro, but actually, you know what? I respectfully disagree. I feel he has the potential to be one of the most charismatic British wrestlers out there. Because, bro, the guy is a shit talker, bro. You like,
Sure.
again, I will share with you the post match promo that he did backstage. He's amazing, bro. And I just feel like, as much as he loves New Japan and I think he respects that whole style, I think he is wasted in New Japan. Because he will be at that ceiling of like a guy that everyone appreciates, but he will never be a mainstream popular star. But again, that's not what he wants. Probably just wants to be in New Japan, right?
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
Let's move on. Let's move on to the Don Callis family versus the Golden Showers and Chris Jericho.
Okay. So many things to unpack here. Okay, first of all, what do you think of Sammy Guevara turning heel and lining up with Don Callis?
We all know that Sammy is a good heel. Like, he'd been floundering for a long time as a sort of like in between here and there. Oh, I'm friends with Jericho now. So I think, this is a good step in the right direction, lah. Don Callis is like heat magnet, lah.
Yeah, I think this is a great way to kind of like elevate him beyond Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like, low key, right? I'm liking the Don Callis family's members. Like, they got Takeshita, which I think is a stud, right? You got Sammy Guevara, which I feel like is on the cusp of getting, that stardom there.
Yeah.
Maybe they just need one more guy, like an enforcer or like a big size guy, like a bruiser kind of guy,
Satnam Singh.
Bro, I said bruiser, bro. Not never mind. I'm just trying to think who can be that guy. Like, legitimately.
Does he have to be a Canadian? Because Don Callis? No. I mean, they have Will Ospreay.
Oh yeah, Will Ospreay, third guy.
Wait, so is Will Ospreay like elite? As in, has he signed AEW or is he like a one-off again?
To be clear, when he was in All In, he's still part of New Japan. He was wrestling as part of like the partnership there. But he did say that his New Japan contract is going to run out soon. So I think it's like almost like a preview of him. Probably he's going to sign up to AEW for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. But again, this Don Callis family is interesting. But I do not know whether Don Callis should be the name of the faction, the Don Callis family.
Well, it's like the Heenan family. This is a throwback to like a classic stable, right? The Heenan family.
I see. Well, okay, so the heels are pretty cool. I would say interesting. But let's talk about the baby faces.
The way you said that, I'm like, okay. Chris. I mean, you all know I'm a massive Chris Jericho mark. He's lost his luster in the past couple of years, like a great deal, right? To a point where I see him here, I'm like, okay, whatever. He's messing around with his friends. I didn't really pay attention. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't pay attention to this match because I'm done, with them. But how was Ibushi here? Because the last few outings for Ibushi in North America has been terrible.
Yeah, so for New Japan fans, right? Like, I do not know how you guys feel, but I feel so bad for Ibushi. No, I don't know whether I feel so bad, but I feel like, bro, like, this stage of your career coming to AEW where you need to make an impression and need to like, you're not making a good first impression for those fans who have never seen you, because it's such a waste, especially when we know his qualities from New Japan, even his small run in the Cruiserweight Classic in 2016, amazing, right?
So okay, my question is, right, with all his wheeling and dealing and his money, right, why doesn't TK get like the video library or rent it or borrow or pay for the rights to show some of these like, highlights, some of the like, and make incredible packages?
And I don't see a reason why they shouldn't.
Right.
Why they don't do it? Because not as if they don't have the ability to do so. I've seen AEW do great packages on their wrestlers, right? But again, I think it's a wasted opportunity. They are not highlighting these New Japan stars. Like, for example, when they brought my brain just went.
They brought shit. They did bring in a lot of shit.
yeah. They did bring shit. No, who's the John Cena, the ace of New Japan?
Takahashi. Tanahashi.
Oh my god, yeah. Tanahashi.
Hiroshi Tanahashi, yeah.
Hiroshi Tanahashi. We all know the name, yes, by osmosis, right, from following New Japan and all that.
Sure.
But can you imagine if they actually told a full story
Okay.
of his career, you know?
Do you think it's a case of like him just being a mark? He knows, so he assumes everybody knows, so he doesn't think it's important, right? Because he doesn't have that wrestling promoter mindset. He's just a billionaire with a lot of money to spend on these guys.
Okay, but here's the problem, right? For example, okay, I mean, no, you, Mr. Young, I'm also having the same problem. If I were to tell my girlfriend, hey, Tanahashi just came back, she was like, who the fuck, why should I care, right?
Yeah.
But if I can go to her and say, hey, you know, there's this guy from Japan, he's like a wrestling veteran for 20 years, he's done everything, you know, he's amazing, like I try to sell him to
show
you.
video lah, like highlight package.
Show that one scene that one time he came down to Singapore and was on Channel 5 for some reason, you know, like do things that make like I think the thing that will make a wrestling, you know, footage or some wrestling form of content interesting to people is relatable in a mainstream way. Does it make sense?
Yeah. No, it shows that this guy is a main star. Like, he appeared on TV. Wow, big. Even if it's a small show, people don't really know better, right? So so that is my question. Is like, does he not see the value in that? Does he not care about it because he thinks that his audience knows who these people are already? Or can he not do it because of some New Japan rule? You know? So I'm like, I'm not putting it down to just that he doesn't care, but also like maybe there are some restrictions.
Yeah, and I was wondering, like, you know, technically to be fair, at this point, I think Ibushi is a free agent. He's no longer signed with New Japan. My question is, why wasn't New Japan like part of this? Why wasn't this like a forbidden door? Why wasn't New Japan forbidden? Are there issues between New Japan and AEW?
I'm sure our friends in chat who know more about New Japan can let us in on the tea.
Bro, I almost feel like TK wanted to go ahead with this idea. Maybe he wanted to get blessing from New Japan, but New Japan wasn't like really keen on it. But he's like, screw you guys, I'm still gonna do it anyway. I think that's the vibe I'm getting from this whole event. But that being said, Ibushi was like meh in this match, so
and also like the other thing is like this is we think about it. Okay, maybe it's a New Japan thing, but the same problem also exists with the other like non-New Japan stars. If you think about it,
okay, what do you mean?
Like in terms of their promotion, how they are portrayed, in terms of hyping people in who are coming in that are not quote unquote big names in North America or in their main market. They're like It is a problem that has existed, so maybe it's more of a TK thing. Anyway, let's move on then, because at the end of the day, they've been feuding for a while, right? I hope Chris Jericho goes away for a while, not gonna lie. Like, he's one of those guys that needs to take a break and then come back in a big way. Hangman Page needs to go away for a bit.
Yeah, I think they all need to just take a really, really long break and like come back with short hair, like do an H or something.
right. Like change up the look, as the saying goes, right? Go away, learn a new hole. Dress a little bit different.
Or dress with my hole.
Oh god. Let's move on. FTR versus Aussie Open.
FTR versus Aussie Open. Okay, FTR. We love them. They've been doing great stuff on Collision. They and Aussie Open, to me, wasn't the match that I wanted to see.
Yeah, I think everyone wanted to see FTR versus Gin and Juice, right?
Yeah, FTR versus Jay White and Juice Robinson. But the thing is, right, after like what I think Gaddafi mentioned, I did see a bit of Dynamite last week. It seems as if Jay White is going to be the next contender to MJF, right? So if they're going to split up Gin and Juice temporarily to bring up Jay White to the main event scene, okay, I can understand. But Aussie Open, I do not know enough or care enough for them because they've never cut a promo before, bro.
It's the same. This is the same issue, lah. It's the same issue that we've talked about top to bottom. Right? Like, who are these guys? You can't expect me to know every wrestler from every territory, right? So let me go back to the point of you saying Jay White and Juice Robinson. Like, I think it could be a Gin and Juice versus MJF thing because MJF still has Adam Cole, best friend. He's out, right? So it could be the two of them get over on MJF first, but then Adam Cole makes his big return to save his best friend, blah, blah, blah. That could be a thing. Wouldn't
be surprising, but for now, in this scenario of FTR versus Aussie Open, it felt like a Dynamite match. It was okay. Aussie Open are great hands, but at this point in time, I'm more invested in Aussie from Grapple Max than Aussie Open, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least I care about those people.
Yeah. For all the praise, right, and great wrestling ability that FTR has, and they can cut amazing promos as well. they just haven't felt relevant in a long, long time. And
Okay, I know why. FTR, the problem with FTR is, right, they are great ring men, like corner men. They are great second in commands. Like they need a CM Punk to be the main guy, and then they are flanking the main guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they can't seem to stand on their own, unfortunately.
Well, because of the division and who's sort of in that division, if you want to read a lot into that. But let's move on then to the main event. Okay. Christian Cage, Darby Allin main event. 2 out of 3 falls for the TNT Championship. Look, man. I know that, everybody has a different style. And you got to appreciate that, right? But my God, I want Darby Allin to not have to walk on crutches at the age of 35. For goodness sakes, man. Like, how many times... At least he's doing this in the main event. At least he's not doing this in some opening match anymore. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that spot where he was thrown on the steel steps, like, what the hell, bro?
Bro, man, okay, you know what? The funniest thing is, I think Christian Cage is like, you know what? I'm just gonna walk around. I'm just gonna throw you, and you just die. For the match. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just not gonna do anything, but you just die for me.
Yeah, like that's exactly what this was, right? And I guess, like I said, if you're gonna do shit like that, at least have it be in the main event. Have it count in a memorable match with memorable stakes, right?
Yeah. And I hope after you do that, you take a break. You don't wrestle on Dynamite next week. You know what I mean? Like, don't do it every single week.
Yeah, exactly. And it's because you don't want to be like Jeff Hardy is right now. The poor guy. You know, he destroyed his body for us.
Yeah, and much respect to him. But bro, can we just pay tribute to... People are paying tribute to Antonio Inoki. I want to pay tribute to Christian Cage, bro. Christian Cage is doing the best work of his career, bro. Okay, first of all, we've always seen him as a great worker, right? Right. His matches with Randy Orton about a decade ago was great.
Yeah.
He was a great ECW champion. I always felt he was really underrated in the ring. Never get the appreciation he deserved because he's always in Age's shadow, right? But this turtleneck wearing Christian Cage as the fake TNT champion, wow, bro, he's so fucking hilarious, bro.
Excuse me, he's now the real TNT champion because, he won it in a triple threat. But yeah, no, absolutely. We've always known what an underrated guy Christian Cage is, right? He's absolutely in top form right now. Just the smarmiest of smarmy heel. He has the smarmy heel down pat. The cerebral smarmy heel.
Do you see the press scrum, bro? Like his appearance on the press that 7 minutes was the best. He shit on Brian Alvarez, fucking funny, bro. You have to watch, bro.
Oh shit.
He was like Brian was like, Christian Cage, I got a question for you. Wait, who are you? Alvarez? You fucking mark or something like that. You mark. He just called him out. And then I don't know, man. And then he was I think the question was, have you seen Nick Wayne wrestle? And then Christian was like, no. Then he just stayed quiet and it became fucking awkward and then everyone started laughing. It was so funny. He just cut him off like that.
Living his best life, huh?
He's amazing,
the match itself was what it was. It was, like you said, Christian Cage throwing Darby Allin around and just destroying him.
Yep. What do you think of that Nick Wayne heel turn and the mom's reactions to it?
I guess, if anything, it goes to Christian Cage being a manipulator, right? That's the whole story. Like, it's not so much like, Nick Wayne.
Nick Wayne, yeah.
Nick Wayne, Nick Cage, Christian Cage. Too many names already. It's Wayne. Not like, it's not like, I don't know, a standout moment for him in that sense. I feel like it's more for Christian Cage to sort of really establish, like, he's manipulated this young child into becoming his protege or whatever, lah.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm actually on Christian's side in this. I feel like him being with Christian Cage will save him from some of the bullshit fundamentals that he might have gotten wrong training with all these other people. Like, I can imagine Darby Allin training someone else.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly, right. Okay,
so it's not such a bad idea, lah.
Let's talk about, quote unquote, the fake. Because you had a moment where Sting comes out, right? And everyone was already looking at the entrance. During the beatdown, everyone was looking at the entrance. Because by putting this match last, you kind of gave away the big surprise. Still, it was a great surprise, don't get me wrong. But it was like, Christian is in the main event versus Darby Allin. Some shit's about to go down, right?
So you're talking about the Sting fake out, is it?
Yeah, the Sting fake out.
Yeah, I like the thing is right. It's so funny because like I was so worried he would have the Rey Mysterio treatment. Remember when everyone wanted Daniel Bryan to be in the number 30 in the Royal Rumble, and then Rey Mysterio came out and everyone booed, even though he was a babyface.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought it was gonna happen, but I mean, Sting is Sting. You know,
No, like he's bulletproof lah at this point. You know, he's a legend, right? Yeah. And then the feature presentation. So Christian Cage beats Darby Allin. The beatdown commences. You know, Sting gets beat up, whatever. And then feature presentation, and they got the song right.
Amazing.
Metalingus is the name of the song. Am I right?
Yes, Metalingus by Alter Bridge.
If
you know Creed, Alter Bridge is actually Creed without the lead singer.
Right. Yeah, obviously the song belongs to Alter Bridge, but they license it to Edge, and I'm sure Tony Khan forked out a little bit of money for that very recognizable song.
Yeah, shout out to Gaddafi. I just saw his message on Discord. Yeah, apparently the rated R superstar was indeed trademarked by WWE, but the trademark expired in 2020. So they fuck it lah. No one's gonna trademark him. He's gonna be here forever.
Right.
They were wrong.
Nope, they were wrong. So okay, you think you know him, and then out comes Adam.
Yeah. You think you know me, but with a higher pitched voice, a more robotic way. I mean, that's the only thing that they changed lah.
Wait, didn't it change to you think you know him?
Oh yeah, you think you know him? Yes, so, you're right.
So instead of me, it's him now. You think you know him.
And it sounded a bit robotic, so like, you think you know him.
Yeah. So they had to tweak it a little bit lah, and then we have Adam Copeland in AEW.
Yeah. Well, Adam, okay, let's just try to process that. Adam Copeland sounds like he could be the drummer for Sting and the Police, but other than that, it's not a bad wrestling name in my opinion.
No, it's fine, right? I mean, it's no Sexton Hardcastle, it's no Connor, but obviously those are joke names, and of course, he's not going to bring Sexton Hardcastle. That one's a bit.
Oh my god, that's just a porn name, bro.
Porn name, exactly, right? But okay,
but they got everything else right. Like they got everything else the closest that they could to the presentation of Edge. So
exactly,
it was fine. I think I marked out hearing Metalingus in AEW. I think that's for sure.
Now, it sets the stage, right? Like I alluded to earlier, so now they have the big get. They got their Edge. I mean, they are Adam. Does this push WWE to giving CM Punk a call? Does it push them to give old Phil Brooks a little tinkle and go, so Survivor Series? Oh, wait. When was it SummerSlam or Survivor Series?
Survivor Series with in Chicago, right?
So
yeah. I mean, before I even address that, let's just talk about what is Adam Copeland's role in AEW, right? It's essentially to replace CM Punk. Let's be honest here, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like I do not know how early was their discussions, because there was even rumors of Edge appearing in All In a month ago when his contract just ran out.
Yeah, but contractually he couldn't because he had a blackout period. So this was the time.
Yeah. So did Tony Khan know, like, okay, you know what? I don't mind firing CM Punk, even though, yes, he was my main guy, because I know in the future I will get Edge to replace him. Do you think that was the play all along?
Yes. I actually do think that was it. Like, okay, I know I'm going to lose CM Punk, but I'm getting an Edge. I'm getting Adam. So,
yeah,
at least I got another like mainstream world champion, famous guy lah.
Yeah, and I would really, really argue, and this is coming from CM Punk fans, who feels it sucks how he was treated and like screw AEW for that. Yeah. But I think Edge is the perfect replacement because he's literally what CM Punk can offer without the toxic behavior lah.
Well, okay, you say toxic behavior. I'm going to defend CM Punk. I'm going to defend your guy right now.
Oh, okay, fine.
Oh, how the tables have turned. In that, yes, I agree that Edge is definitely a needle mover. He's going to be, make waves there, right? Okay, here's the thing. With CM Punk, he wanted to come in to work with the young guys to make the product a better product, to take it to another level, correct?
Yep.
Edge is here, more power to him. He has the cachet to do it. He's here, I don't think, to change the business. He's here to work with his friends. He's like the Jericho. He's like the Christian. He's like the Samoa Joe. Right? He's not going to come in and make a big fuss because, stupid stuff is happening. He's just going to do what he wants to do. And Whether it's good or bad stuff, that's all up in the air. We'll have to wait and see for the next couple of weeks, right? But my whole thing with Adam jumping over is that, yes, it's a big deal, but will it be a big deal for long? Because he already had his comeback. WWE got him back at the right time when he had that massive, how many years was he away? Layoff.
I think at least seven years or 8 years. Yeah,
exactly.
9
right.
years. I don't know. Yeah.
So they already had that huge, big surprise. Okay, let me sort of compare this to Jeff Hardy. Remember when the Hardys returned at WrestleMania? It was like, whoa, shit, the Hardys, we haven't seen them in a long time, right?
Yeah.
And then slowly, you got Jeff and Matt moving over to AEW. And that, I'm not saying that it's going to peter off in terms of excitement at that sort of level, but I think the trajectory, seeing how AEW has been and how they've handled their people in the past, I feel like it might go that way.
It might. I have no qualms that that there is a sure possibility or that's a very real possibility. But I've also thought of Edge as he is somebody who he will still fight for what he wants.
Yeah.
And he will still be very hard-headed, but I think he can manage people better. He has better people skills than CM Punk, unfortunately, right? So I feel like why I say he can do everything that CM Punk can do without all that drama, because I feel like he is able to mediate better. He's able to put across his points better. And one thing that was very, very interesting that he said in the press scrum was that I'm here to help. I'm sure I see a whole roster of people that I can work with and all that. And I've seen somebody like Christian Cage has proven that everything he has done has elevated. Maybe not to the level of CM Punk, or maybe it went under the radar because CM Punk was so out there, right?
Yeah.
But I think he can do what Christian Cage is doing, where he can really bring up a talent like a Darby Allin or whoever it is.
Yeah.
But the question is, I feel like CM Punk has been a number one guy in WWE.
Yep.
John Cena has been a number one guy in WWE. The problem with Edge is, he's always been 1A. You get what I mean? He's always been the foil.
Absolutely. So there's the difference, right?
Yeah.
It can be argued that the people you just mentioned, your CM Punks, your John Cenas, they are the people, yes, they were number one, but there are also people who are, I don't want to say, like you use the term toxic, right? I feel like they have very strong beliefs in how the product should be and everything is on their shoulders. Whereas someone like an Edge, someone like a Bryan Danielson, they are
accommodating, is it?
Very accommodating, for better or for worse. And it could be a negative point because, it depends on the culture of the company, right? If you are very accommodating in a place where everyone can do whatever they want, then which is what we see in AEW, you get all these little groups So you see Christian Cage working with Darby Allin and only exclusively those guys. So you'll see Edge only working with his friends, maybe a Matt and Jeff once in a while. Is this good for the product as a whole? I think it makes the product inconsistent as a whole.
Well, right.
And like what Tovakin said, that's provided the roster wants help. And that's the other big issue. The big thing where a lot of these guys and gals in the AEW roster think they don't need help from the veterans. Now, it might be argued that CM Punk is the type of guy that forces his help upon you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, right? You know what I mean?
Everyone know that guy. He's the one I think you need to improve your that one. Who the fuck asked you, yeah?
well, no, but
kind of guy.
But see, he's CM Punk though. You know what I mean? He has the legendary status to say actually, if you tweak this, it could work. But I don't think Edge is that guy. He's not going to force his help upon you. But at the same time, though, the help will probably make a difference. And to your point, he's never been one. He's been 1A, 2B, or whatever you want to call it. So I get your point as well.
Yeah, it's very interesting that you mentioned that, right? Because you're putting the wrestlers, these legends that want to kind of help AEW into two categories only. Yep. Either you're a CM Punk who is like, I'm going to be so hard-headed, I'm just going to force myself on people. Or I'm
not in that way, but
no,
force my ideals, way. Yes.
Yeah. But then you're going to have a Chris Jericho, Bryan Danielson, super accommodating. Okay, I can lie, just go along.
Yeah.
But I feel he's a third category, bro. You know what his category he is?
Go ahead.
He's the Cody Rhodes category.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, Cody Rhodes category. So let me just elaborate very, 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 very briefly. What I mean by that is he is smart, cerebral enough to be like Cody Rhodes to navigate even people, and still kind of push his ideals across, but still come across as like non-confrontational.
Sure.
Because the thing about Cody Rhodes is like, I know he has a lot of shit to say about the Young Bucks, I'm pretty sure. But he knows how to keep the peace. But I think he did a lot of things in AEW that actually push the boundaries a bit, for better or for worse. And I think the thing about Edge is, like you mentioned, like I mentioned, he's 1A, right? He's always been 1 in WWE. Doesn't that mean he has a chip on his shoulder? He wants to prove that he can be a top guy in AEW?
Maybe. And, well, I mean, okay, to your point as well, right? Cody didn't last. He, at some point, he was like, okay, I'm done with this shit. So, question is, can Edge tahan? Maybe he can tahan because he has his friends there. FTR, literally his neighbors. Christian. I don't know Matt and his relationship, how lah, but got Jeff, people they've worked with. I know a lot of people talk about how, Edge and Christian, Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy. I don't think that's what he's there to do. To rehash past greatness. Because
I think he's there to build up the stars, like the new stars for sure.
Which is important, right? And someone of his status, of his experience, will be very valuable to the people that will listen to him. And we will see a scenario, confirm, we will see a scenario where, like I said he will just work with a group of people, and those who just want to do things their way, he will just like, okay, I'll just stay over here, far away.
To answer to Overkin, yes, I'm feeling very sus right now after I mentioned that. No. You know what? I hope Edge is a Collision exclusive almost. Like,
oh god, this again.
No. Okay, I think he'll be fine going in Dynamite here and there. But I almost feel like if he really wants to affect the kind of change, give him Edge the keys to Collision, bro.
Bro, the Dudleys.
Bro, Bully Ray. Special guest, special appearance.
Devon, just random. I'm like, oh no, not this again. I hope. I mean, look, it really does seem like AEW is the retirement home. Like how TNA was, like how WCW was,
But I think the difference is this generation of the older wrestlers are really better at giving back.
Yeah, they really are. They are not there to try to make some of them are. But, they're not all there to try to make a paycheck. They're trying to advance the business, try to, make it bigger and better. I read a tweet, or I think Adam put out a tweet where he was talking about how he wants to be there week in, week out. I think that is a mistake. I think the reason why the last year and the reason why WWE essentially said we have nothing for you was because he was there too often. You don't see overexposed. Like when John Cena came back and was like, he's going to be there for was it like a
8
month?
weeks?
8 weeks, whatever. I was like, that's too long. I feel like people of that stature, of that level, don't need to be on TV all the time.
I think the Brock schedule is the best.
Yeah. No, that's exactly.
He had a run. Yeah, he had a run, but everything he did was impactful, make a lot of sense, and then he went away again.
And he put people over at the same time. Yeah. I get the idea of wanting to work with young talent to bring them up, but at the same time also, it's like you need to remember you are valuable because of your perceived MVP status, right?
Yeah, and I think wrestling is all about perception, right? You gotta create that aura.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Have him, but why is he wrestling a match on Dynamite against Luchasaurus so fast? Okay, see, that's what I don't agree with. Have him come back, cut a promo. Why am I back? Do his thing. Don't let him have a match.
No, okay. That one I don't blame you. I blame Tony Khan. Because Tony Khan, I think, jumped the gun and announced it. He was so excited to announce it on the press scrum. He actually wanted to just announce him going to talk on Dynamite. Then he's like, oh, you know what? On my birthday, Tuesday, title Tuesday. I think I'm gonna have Edge on the. I think he literally just booked it on the spot, bro. I do not know. Okay.
No, but Sting is not as relevant as he once was. That's a great example, HS Lee. You have a Sting. He's coming out every week doing these matches. He's now one of the boys. Edge.
Can you imagine if Undertaker was in Sting's role? He's just a lackey to Darby Allin doing tag team matches. Oh, poor things, yeah.
Right? So
yeah.
Cannot lah. I feel like I don't think Edge should be in that role. He should be there, but he only shows up once in a while, just to only when it's important, right? And for the love of God, do not have them go up against the Hardys.
No, please keep them as far away from the Hardys as possible.
Yeah, do not retread, old ground, because it will never live up to what was, right?
Yeah.
They've gone way past that. So I don't know, man. going back to the point of WWE, quote unquote, and call it corporate greed or call it good or bad, whatever, but they've milked all of Edge's return. Like when somebody returns, they have an X amount of juice. Let's call it that, right? They have X amount of juice. And, the Royal Rumble was the high point, and then, he had this feud with Randy Orton, and then so in between that, he had the triple threat match. And with every single week that he continually shows up, the nostalgia wears off.
Yeah, but I agree. I would say the last time he felt like a big deal or what was probably his Seth Rollins feud in 2021. But that's almost 2 years ago, right? Like after he did try to reinvent himself with the Judgment Day. Could have gotten it anywhere, but I would argue him not being in Judgment Day made Judgment Day better. So
yes.
So I think you're right. They milked everything that they could out of Edge. And to be honest, going to AEW is actually good for Edge. Edge needed a breath of fresh air, needed a new coat of paint, needed new people to... Like, I felt reinvigorated seeing like, okay, I think Adam Copeland is going to be like a whole new era of like, in the sunset of his career for him to do this kind of thing.
Right. Oh, apparently the match is 2 weeks away, by the way. The next Dynamite, Luchasaurus versus Edge.
Okay, but let's be honest, right?
Still too soon, by the way.
Still too soon is one thing, but bro is turning 50, bro.
Yeah.
I know it's crazy to think Edge as a 50-year-old man, but he's starting to look like it. But the point, even minusing away the 9 years in the ring that he didn't wrestle, which is great on his body, he healed up and all that. At 50 years old, what can you do in the next 3, 4, 5 years to really maximize this run?
Acting, bro. He's an actor, after all.
Yeah, he can act his way in AEW and give acting lessons to everyone in the company, perhaps.
Oh God, yes, please. Start with the Young Bucks and then work his way through the
Hangman Page,
QT Marshall, all those. God, please tell the story.
Oh no, but yeah. What can they do? Okay, let's get past the obvious. Beyond feuding with Christian Cage, who do you want Adam Copeland to have a feud with? Like,
well, I mean, that's the beauty. That's the beauty of him there, right? He has so many fresh feuds. People you could never dream of him. The worst thing they could do is have Adam versus Chris Jericho.
No need again, please.
Adam versus Matt Hardy. So Adam versus everybody else can. Yes, I think it's a fresh thing.
He mentioned a couple of people that he was interested in, and I salivated at the thought of it. Like, he said he's never stepped foot in the ring with Samoa Joe. How crazy is that?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he said he never had a chance to wrestle Kenny Omega. I mean, the Canadian connection will probably be interesting. He never, in his entire run, in his 25 years in WWE, he never set foot opposite Sting, which is pretty cool as well. But the one guy I really, really want him to wrestle, to be honest, he's got to be MJF, right?
Oh, yeah.
He's got to be. And MJF called him out even in the press crowd.
Wow, he legit called him by his former name.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah.
Do you think that, okay, like if you think about it, right? Why would why would Tony Khan let Adam give MJF the rub, considering that MJF may just say bye-bye next year?
Well, maybe that's inevitable no matter what MJF will leave.
Yeah.
But maybe Tony Khan really wants to, you know what, since he's going to leave, let's maximize his return, right?
Okay.
And you know how CM Punk used to have that one photo with MJF from like 20 years ago when he was a child?
Yeah.
MJF also got one photo with Edge and Randy Orton apparently.
Yes.
So this can be a retread of the CM Punk and MJF feud, which was one of the best feuds AEW has ever done. So I'm saying that I think it would be really, really dope, but they must tell the story in a different way.
Yeah. I mean, okay, look, it'll be interesting to see. Like, obviously, this will be a draw for a lot of people to come back and watch Dynamite, right? After, the CM Punk and everything, that whole issue. We'll have to wait and see where this goes, lo. Do I feel like it will have the same burst of like interest as his first run? No, I don't think so. But we'll have to wait and see.
Would you be keeping tabs on AEW now that Edge is back?
Yeah, for sure. Of course, you have to. It's Edge. It's Adam.
Bro, everything is. Remember when Rated R was the most must-see WWE champion before the Miz,
right?
When he was doing his sex tape and sex celebration, or I don't. Yeah,
because you know he's not gonna do that anymore, right?
He's not gonna do that with Beth Phoenix, for sure.
Beth Phoenix. What the hell are you doing, man?
No, but he can be that rated R character in AEW. He can be in that in WWE, right?
Yeah. Okay, so what does that mean? So he goes and makes people bleed. John Moxley, where you? Come. Time to bleed. And you know that Edge is going to want him to work with FTR. So now you have faction already. Got Edge and FTR versus Christian Cage and his group of fellas. So you got Lucha and you got Nick Wayne, Bruce Wayne, Nick Gage.
Yeah.
Nick
they
Cage.
can have that. And again, I would want him to be a collision star.
Yeah.
Make him a collision regular. I think that's collision really needs somebody right now, please.
Bro, you know
collision.
Who he needs to feud with?
Who, bro?
Ricky Starks.
Oh yeah, poor guy lah. Yeah, give him Ricky Starks. But he will put over Ricky Starks. So please give Ricky Starks a chance.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. See how long he can tahan the bullshit.
Oh dear God.
In fact.
Rated FTR. Oh, that's a nice name, Fierce Grinder. Yeah, that's dope. Rated FTR. There you go.
Okay, it's time for us to get out of here. It's 2:30 already. Everybody, thank you so much for hanging out on the podcast. What's happening next week, huh?
Well, next week is we didn't even have a chance, but actually Fastlane is this weekend.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We got maybe we can do a quick rundown of the card. We'll review Fastlane. And we'll probably talk about whatever Edge did or Adam Copeland did on Dynamite as well. So that's the plan for next week.
Oh yeah. Okay, very quickly, let me take a look at Fastlane 2023. Here we go in Indianapolis. Only 5 matches have been officially announced.
Oh.
Yeah. You got the Judgment Day versus Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso for the Undisputed Tag Team Championships.
Ooh, they're fighting for the titles. Interesting. So Cody and Jey are a team now. Okay.
Yeah, so Cody and Jey are not going to win this. We all know that.
Why my guy Sammy and Jey is not a team? What happened to Sammy?
Yeah. Or Sammy. What happened to Kevin Owens?
I don't know what. Is one of them injured? I can't remember. But anyway, yeah.
But yeah, this is a weird match, I guess. Once again, like looking at the card, I'm like, low bar. But then they'll over-deliver, as they've done.
As they always do, yeah. But Cody a bit poor thing lah. Let's just put it as I don't know whether they're spinning their wheels with Cody or not lah. But he's really not doing much.
If Roman Reigns versus The Rock is going to be a WrestleMania thing, to complete the story, you need Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk.
I would love that. I mean, everyone would love that. So yeah,
let's go. Let's do it. Papa H, give Phil a call. Short-term contract so he doesn't cause more shit. Let's move on. The Latino World Order versus Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits.
I mean, if you watched SmackDown last week, I think Street Profits finally showing a bit of fire, a bit of heel tendencies. For the love of God, change their music. Please make them serious. And then I think you have a pretty dope. And give us a confirmed name for their... Are they going to be called Hurt Business or not?
No lah, I don't think so lah. This is their own thing. LWO... I don't know. Like, okay, you got Ray and Santos, right? And then you got two jobbers, essentially. Like, I'm sure most people don't even know Joaquin and Cruz.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? They only half of their team is like has any sort of momentum. Even Zelina Vega had momentum, but I think she kind of fizzled out recently. Yeah,
have they had their match, by the way? I thought this Ray and Santos supposed to fight for the US title.
No, they had their match on SmackDown actually last week.
And then Ray won.
Ray won, but then again they got interrupted and beaten up by this Street Profits lah. But when he won the title and he wanted to shake hands with Santos was looking a bit pissed. So they
is
are
the turn
planting the seeds. Yeah,
planting the seeds. There you go. Io Sky versus Asuka versus Charlotte Flair for the Women's Championship.
Io Sky and Asuka is amazing. Charlotte Flair, where the fuck did she come from?
Well, you know, she's always the one kind of insert, out of the blue to quote unquote, I don't know, make this a bit more legit. I think this will solidify Io if she wins against two of the legends. If
Io wins, then I think it will be a great result. Because the Io and Asuka match was a banger, man. It was amazing. So
there's no reason to put the title back on Asuka or Charlotte Flair, right? Like they want to make Io at this point. I think Io still needs a bit of time to be solidified as a defending legit champion.
Yeah, they did. Well, I really think Charlotte needs to stay far, far away from the title picture. Put Charlotte back in NXT lah, for God's sake.
Wow, okay, I don't know about that, but let's move on then. CM. I'm already saying CM. John Cena, the other C, And LA Knight, like we all predicted, LA Knight, he had the COVID the previous week, so he couldn't do the save. This past week on SmackDown, he comes out, makes the save. Cena and Knight versus the Bloodline, which is Jimmy and Solo.
Yeah, I mean, this is a coming out party for LA Knight, right?
Yep.
LA Knight in this position after years of mismanagement and booking problems, and the fact that now he's with John Cena, one of the biggest stars in the world, it's pretty good for LA Knight, right? But do you see the beatdown that and LA Knight saving John Cena? Bro, I know John Cena is getting better as an actor, but the guy overacted the shit out of that segment, bro. Do you see? He was like,
has he become a little bit too corny? No, okay. Let me rephrase that. Because of his character as Peacemaker, the Peacemaker is intentionally overacted, right? And and every role that he's excelled in has been that role where he overacts, like because it is like part of the meta joke. Peacemaker. What was that clip I see? He's like a drug dealer. That was that clip gets.
Oh yeah.
A lot.
The one with Tina Fey, right? I forgot the show. Yeah.
So, but you know what I mean? Like he excels in that role. So now he does seem like a bit overacting. I will agree with that. Yes.
Yeah. I thought he go Hollywood, he become a better actor, but I think he become worse.
No, because like I said, he keeps getting typecast in those like slightly comedic action roles. Where he has to be a little bit like, but on wrestling is like a bit corny in a way.
Can we get the best actor, Dave Bautista, to show everyone how it's done? Like, he's literally the best one out of all of them, including The Rock, by the way. Yeah.
So, question: is this a right time to turn LA Knight and have Cena versus Knight, or are we doing LA Knight versus the Bloodline?
Nah. I think LA Knight. I think this match will transition into LA Knight versus Roman Reigns.
Okay.
I think this will be the end of the year feud. I think there's been rumors that they want to put LA Knight in this big position, test the waters on him in a main event run.
Yep.
So I think after he wins this match, the Bloodline, beats him up, and then Roman Reigns return. I think at the end of the show, that will be interesting.
Of course, they've been teasing this whole Jimmy, like all of a sudden he's like the big shit, and then like Paul and Solo, like what the hell? So I like sort of the evolving characters that we've got going on here.
For sure.
Nice layered storytelling. Okay, main event: Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura, last man standing.
Well, the thing about this match is I feel like this match needs to end. Like this feud needs to end already, bro. Push. Either make Nakamura a champion now or just end it, because I think you don't want to get diminishing returns on this feud. So
I agree with you 100%. Like honestly, I thought that if they were going to continue, they should have given the title to Shinsuke in their last match. Right? And then have Seth do the sort of redemption story here. But now you got like, okay, you've escalated it. You got last man standing and everything. If Shinsuke loses again, wow, it's like, that's it. Like, okay, that's it for the side quest lah.
Yeah. Because like Seth is a great champion, but I think Seth has this problem where everything he, like when he becomes a champion, he gets staler.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like when he was chasing for the title, everyone was like on his side. But because WWE is not pulling the trigger on Seth and Cody, or like Seth with another capable guy, Seth and AJ Styles, I do not know. Then it's just.
Is it time for Seth to? I mean, okay, so his whole like, I don't know what his gimmick is supposed to be. The Joker, he's drunk, he's high. I don't know what he is lah. But like, is that getting stale?
It was never a thing lah. It was always stale. It was always weird. But the crowd loves singing his song. I think that was the only thing that got it.
Fias, I love that call, by the way.
What did you say?
Cash in, Damian Priest. Let's go. Yeah, why not? Because it's last man standing. So they're gonna beat the ever living piss out of each other, right? To a point where they'll be like so broken down. So this is time for Damian Priest, Dave Royalty, shout out to you, to come out and cash in. No. And
I don't hate it, bro. I think that's a good idea.
I think this is the perfect time because, okay, I think Seth needs a break. We all know how talented, how great he is, but he's been holding the strap and he's been sort of holding up Raw for a while.
He did say he's injured. He did say he's having injuries as well, right?
So have him do this, like, and that's the whole point of this story, right? Like, oh, his back is all effed up. He can't even, like, hug his daughter without having pain. So yeah, have Shinsuke brutalize him, last man standing, and maybe have him even win. Maybe he beats Shinsuke, but he's so effed up. Damien Priest like, la 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 la, time to cash in.
Yeah, you know what? I think that's the right move because Judgment Day needs to be reinvigorated in a way.
But Shinsuke still gets the short end of the stick here.
Yeah, poor guy. Hey, you know what? Then that will change my predictions. Have Judgment Day drop the tag team titles to Cody and Jay, and then Damien wins the world title.
Okay.
That's
what, leading to the whole jealousy angle between Finn and Damien?
Yeah, I think Damien as the champion like opens up the possibilities a lot. You can have the rematch with Seth. You can have like you say, Finn Balor not happy, and then you got JD McDonough trying to like screw with Damien. They can have all the issues with the Judgment Day like splinter into Survivor Series. Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities, I think.
There you go. Once again, this is episodic dramas, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think they are doing what the Bloodline did last year, right? They're making Judgment Day must-see in a way.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So hopefully that's the case. And putting Damien as a world title makes Judgment Day the main event.
Yes. So and it makes it fresh. Not like I said, we all know how incredible a worker Seth Rollins is, but he needs to go away for a bit and change his gimmick up a bit because I don't know how you even describe. Okay. Like, how do you describe Seth Rollins to somebody? Like, when you talk about Hulk Hogan, he's an all-American hero, he vanquishes the bad guys. You talk about Roman Reigns, he's the head of the table, he is the lead man in the Samoan dynasty, real mafia-type character. How the hell do you describe Seth Rollins?
He's just a vibe, lah. That's as the Gen Zs call it.
He's not even a vibe. Like, when are you walking into your room, like, when? Bro, when you're high.
Bro, Halloween coming up. Bro. All kinds of characters will come out. Yeah.
Okay, so Damien Priest freshens up the main event scene, gets his due. I like it.
I love it too. I think that's a great preview of Fastlane, and I think Fastlane is gonna deliver again. People will always say WWE also same issue. The cut like whatever lah. Then suddenly the pay-per-view is a beggar. So you never know.
PLE, excuse me.
Sorry.
Okay.
Whoa.
Okay, that being said, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out. It's 2:39. We got to get out of here. We got stuff to do, and you got stuff to do as well. We appreciate your time. If you missed any of the show, by the way, you can always catch the video on demand on YouTube or listen to Spotify for the audio version.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, if you support what we do, please consider pledging to our Patreon, keeps the lights on, joining us on our Discord where the conversation goes throughout the week beyond the episodes as well. And yeah, thanks so much for joining us today.
All right, as always, it's Mr. Young.
And it's Forward in the building. Take care.
Let me see,